Hello and welcome to SaaS Marketing Insights, the show where we ask SaaS founders, CEOs, marketers, and investors about the lessons they've learned in their quest to grow their companies. My name is Paul Stevenson, and I'm founder and CEO of SaaS marketing agency 47 Insights. On today's show, I have an interview with Duane Brown, founder of Take Some Risk. Duane Brown, welcome to SaaS Marketing Insights.
Cool, thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Paul.
So you're all over, right over there, the sea there, miles and miles away in Vancouver.
Yeah, not that far. I tell people it's like a 4-hour trip and they always think I'm crazy, but I'm like, it's an
30
hour
miles.
and 2-hour ferry. It's far. It's far for like Canada.
Yeah, but you've not always worked in Canada. Are you Canadian? I guess you're Canadian.
Yeah, I am Canadian. I get the question a lot. But yeah, I lived a couple of years in the UK, lived in London, and I lived in Australia for about 7 months, working for one of the big telecoms down there.
So tell me about how you got started in marketing and specifically SaaS marketing, because you've worked a lot. I know you do a range of stuff now, but you've worked a lot with SaaS in the past.
Yeah, it's mostly because I went to live in the UK and there's just more opportunity to work on like tons of things because they have bigger budgets and, London is the gateway to Europe, much like, New York, you could say it's the gateway to the rest of North America in terms of advertising and where clients spend tons of money. So I worked on like a lot of SaaS related brands, more from a consumer focused standpoint. Got to work a lot on e-commerce as well. And just getting a lot more international experience in like managing a team, working on things in multiple countries and in multiple languages. So when we worked on ASOS, we were in like 15 different countries. And we had 3 different languages, and I was managing a team of 3 plus me, and just trying to like make sure everything from like what we say in America versus what we say in Canada or the UK or in Australia or in Germany or Amsterdam, any of those places were all correct, and just keeping that all afloat. And so when I was done with London, because I couldn't renew my visa, and I went traveling through Asia for a bit, I got a job offer just to work at Unbounce for a couple of years, and then I quit that last year to start the company. And they basically took me because they need someone with international experience. There's not tons of that in Vancouver, and they've been looking for probably a year and change. And so they were, I wouldn't say desperate, but they really, really wanted to find someone.
So your role at Unbounce was like purely paid, purely pay-per-click, or you were doing like a mix of stuff?
A mix of stuff. So, most of our spend was on AdWords, but we had Bing, we had Facebook, we had Comcast, we had display, anything remarketing related. As you can imagine, I probably had every vendor try to email me and just like, let's just chat. I'm like, no, I'm good. Excel, AdWords editor, old school, a way of thinking in some ways, but like tools are not going to solve your basic problems if your numbers aren't profitable.
Well, you mean there's not an AI solution to all of this? Come on.
Yeah, no, there's not an AI solution. The clients look at me weird. I sometimes tell clients, like, we need less technology if you want to be successful, not more technology. Like, more people, more technology just makes everything more complicated. So yeah, we focused on that. We did a bit of Facebook in my last like 8 months, and just doing a lot more like video marketing on Facebook and trying to figure out how to grow that channel.
Cool.
It was a good experience.
And so when did you set up Take Some Risk?
I quit my job in January last year. If you ask the government, they'd probably say like February 10th or something like that. Emotionally, for me, it was like January 1st. I had emotionally decided that this was the way I was going to go, and I just started like focusing all my free time on just the company and like what we're going to call it and register and just all that sort of admin business stuff that people don't always think about when they start a company.
And so, with your business being so new, and I say that because my business is pretty new as well, I guess we're in a similar situation in some respects. We're just sort of like finding new clients and finding out which clients you want to work with and which ones you really don't want to work with. Are you still working with a mix of clients? Do you still work with SaaS clients, or you're doing more e-commerce, or?
We have like half our clients are in e-commerce, a third are in sort of like technology, B2B, SaaS, that sort of space. Then the rest are like sort of lead gen or other sort of odd things that don't really fall into these 2 categories. And it's a mix of like my network to send me stuff, or we have a few partners in Toronto that send us stuff if they can't do the work. They'll send us the client directly, and we just decide if we want to take it or not. I mean, most clients who email us, we take on board because we usually weed them out by pricing. Like either people think we're too
Yeah.
expensive, so they don't stick with us, and that's okay. And then other people will say, "Yeah, you're expensive, but we get what we're paying for," and so we work with them.
Yeah, so we won't name names, but you and I had a conversation, and I referred someone to you based on the fact that I think you guys got much more e-commerce experience than I have, and I'm just working merely only with SaaS clients now, and I knew about your ASOS experience, and I just thought, yeah, that's a much better fit, and I'd much rather the client get work with somebody who's got that kind of experience. And you can get results quicker. You got much more experience, so it's a better fit, and I think that's always important to try and be a bit of a matchmaker with finding clients to work with the right people.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's true. I mean, we generally say we want clients who are nice. They have like an interesting problem to solve. Like with the client you're talking about, like they don't do tons of digital stuff. So the problem is like how do you kind of start from square one more or less? Other clients they have things going, but it's not going in the direction they want. They have leads, they don't convert,
Mm,
or they've hired three people and all those people have brought in leads or people sign up for an account, but they didn't convert into like paying customers, which I see a lot. We sometimes joke our best customers are those who've been through two or three other agencies and have been disappointed, and they're a little bit more tougher than they would normally be because they want to make sure they find a really good fit.
mm.
Um, so yeah, we work with like all kinds of clients, which is cool. And also like the third thing is basically you'll pay your invoice. We want people who will pay the invoice because
Old
we do
school,
the job.
yeah. Imagine getting paid for what you do.
I know, I know. We have one client that fired us the other day because we were too honest and we told them this wasn't a good idea and we weren't going to do it. Then they fired us, and now they're trying to not pay their final invoice, which makes me a little bit frustrated. But I told them I'm just going to keep at it. I'm going to be really
Mm,
annoying about it because like we did the work, we know we were right. Like we don't think you should spend money to run this test that you're not going to have results in week 4. That you're asking me how it performed. I'm not going to be able to give you an answer, and then we would have wasted your time and money and my time because this wasn't a worthwhile test. Like we could have, and I suggested this to the client, like we could have run tests on ad copy or targeting or other things that were just more worthwhile than try to test a landing page when you don't have enough conversions to test that. So it's unfortunate to lose a client, but I'm glad I lost a client because it stuck for my values and the things that are really important to us as just a company and an organization.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the classic thing there is you don't have a dog and bark yourself. If you hire an expert to do something for you, and then they give you their advice, their recommendation, and you don't take it, and you want to sort of like control them like a puppet on a string, that's frustrating for everybody, and they're not going to get the best service from an expert in that situation.
No, they won't. I mean, I literally said in one of my emails, like, you hired us for a reason. Please listen to me. This will be a waste of money and time.
Mm,
And with any client, we say we don't think this is a good idea. We always give 2 or 3 other recommendations of things they can do because we do want them to like test things and try things out when it makes sense, and they'll see the outcome they want to see, or they'll learn something they want to see. In
mm.
this case, running a test in a week is like you don't have enough traffic and you don't have enough money. And they just didn't really seem to believe they didn't have enough money. I'm like, you're not going to spend 40 grand in the next week because like you're just not going to. No one I know is
Yeah,
going to do that.
yeah.
ASOS wouldn't even do that if I told them I need to spend 40 grand next week to run a test. They're like, you're crazy, Duane.
Mm. So, given the diversity of the clients that you're working with, interested in hearing, your view on whether you see any trends that are kind of across different industries right now, in terms of platforms, in terms of campaign types, in terms of things that aren't working so well, or what you see happening in terms of trends or developments. So, for example, I don't know if you do stuff in Europe, but
Yeah, we have for a couple clients. Yeah.
yeah, whether you're seeing the effect that the privacy law changes over there are having with campaigns or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, with GDPR, we definitely see a drop in traffic for our clients that do stuff in Europe, and get a good chunk of obviously their business from Europe. So that's that's challenging. Like, how do we, run campaigns, and how do we do remarketing, and even just from like, an SEO perspective, what can and can't we capture this person's, identity or trait. So there's definitely a challenge there across our clients that we do stuff in Europe for and across EMA in general. I don't think GDPR is a bad thing. I tell most people I think it's actually a good thing to give control to customers. Maybe it wasn't promoted in the best way, so people didn't know about it as fast as they should.
It was the transition wasn't great.
Yeah, the transition definitely wasn't great, but it doesn't mean it wasn't a bad idea.
No, long term it's good.
Yeah. So I think there's that. I think we see a lot more clients, starting out on Shopify in terms of like, an e-commerce platform, whether it's they want to like test out if their idea works or it's just what they hear about. So, Shopify, from the outside, I feel like their technique of marketing is brute force. We're just going to hire a crap ton of people and just brute force a way to the top. And it seems like it's working because the more people we talk to, the more people are on Shopify versus like a WooCommerce or Magento, which are kind of the other options I think a lot of people go with in this space. I think among our e-commerce clients, I think more and more find it a bit more expensive to be on Facebook and a bit more challenging. There's definitely a bit more competition there, but that's okay because more competition means it'll weed out people who are not very good at Facebook. It'll just weed out really bad agencies. We all talk to enough clients who worked with that, guru special agency that just didn't deliver, or even past clients who've had agencies where the only way they could drive a sale was with a sales ad or some sort of discount. And no discounts, no giveaways. Like if someone's not willing to pay full price, they're probably not a great customer.
Yeah. So that's e-commerce. Do you see anything that is in the kind of SaaS world changing in terms of paid advertising?
I don't think anything's changing majorly. I think it's business as usual in the sense that, we obviously see Google and Facebook, they gear a lot of their stuff towards e-commerce. So it's like figure out how you're going to convert customers on, AdWords and Bing, figure out if you're going to do video as part of your mix on YouTube or on Facebook, and just really nail down the basics there. For one client, we did some work with in Q1 who wanted help with reorganizing their accounts and stuff like that, and just making sure that the person internally was doing a really good job. Like we found some really good success on Yahoo, and even though I remember when we had 3 search engines, then we lost it to 2 search engines, and now we're back to 3. Yahoo was kind of a nice surprise for the client, and like they've kept it running, and they're happy. And it's just, even though it's not a lot of growth compared to what you get on Bing, it's incremental growth, and I think that's really important to realize. You can't just be on one platform.
No, you don't want all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, which a lot of clients do. A lot of clients, we've got Google, so we're good. And I'm like, well, people don't spend all their time on Google, all their time on Facebook. You need to be in a few places, and helping clients figure that out, I think, is the big thing right now because they don't have unlimited budgets. They need to figure out how much do I spend on each platform to like get the maximum amount of people. Yeah,
it's how you divide the budget up. And is a Facebook conversion, say, the same value as a Google one, or I don't know, or a Twitter or a LinkedIn or whatever? I mean, it's and with SaaS in particular, I mean, people come in and trial at a certain price, but until the trial converts to paid, you don't really know what the value of that account or customer is going to be. So it's always tricky.
It is definitely always tricky. I mean, we took on a client in Australia back in April. And I signed the contract like I'd been there just before I boarded a flight to go to Italy just to get a conference. And so I think for that client, because they're based in Australia and in their SaaS, obviously there's a talent shortage. But for them, it really is figuring out like what's the difference between when someone signs up for an account and when they convert. Like what's that lead time? And is it different than what they see across other channels? Which right now it seems like there's about a week difference. Like it takes a little bit longer for someone on Google to convert, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We just need to keep it in mind when we run the experiments and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also they're smaller, so how do we compete with like the bigger brands in the space that have like more money and more budget and stuff like that?
Yeah, how to spend that money wisely.
Yeah. So it's like there's brand campaigns, there's competitor campaigns. We have some new marketing going. For them, because of the content on their blog, like dynamic search ads didn't really work, but it was a good test run to see if that would be worthwhile for them. So it's really just honing in on the basics and getting it right, because they've hired a couple people in the past year and a half, and they kept on saying, when we want someone internally, and because we want someone internally, and I get the logic behind that. There's well, I'm paying them full time, it makes sense. But I think now they're glad they hired me, even though it took a year of biz dev, because like they realized, well, we consistently have conversions the last 3 months, and the other people got like a couple conversions in 1 month and 2 months of like nothing. So it's like it's a very night and day difference on performance.
So here's an interesting question. It's something I come across a lot. Uh, how do you deal with people who say, "Yeah, we just want you to test some stuff. We just want you to, review the account. That's fine. Yeah, and if you can do that for nothing, and then, what we're thinking is, yeah, we just have a rolling monthly contract. Is that, because what I've seen and my experience is it takes a long time to really understand and get to the bottom of what's really working. And it a lot depends on volume and spend and all of that stuff. But I wonder if you come across the similar kind of questions.
I mean, yeah, we did it the other day. Someone referred someone to us, and we talked, and they were like, "Oh, we were thinking like, could we do something for like a few days or a few weeks?" And I was like, "Well, that's not enough time, even with like what we do on a Facebook for app install in terms of a
Mm.
campaign." I told them like we could do something for a month and see how it works out. I could consult and stuff for you as another option. So we did have someone come up, and it was like an interesting opportunity. And I'm like, "Well, we'll do a month if you want to do a month's test, but we wouldn't do anything less than that." And our preferred with clients is we'll do 3 months and then have it just go month to month after that, just because we need to be able to like figure out like what's working and what's not. We need time to like dig into the data. For any client we bring on board, we'll audit all their systems just to make sure things are set up correctly, because I find other agencies don't always do that and things
Yeah,
broken.
you start building your marketing on top of some really bad conversion tracking or
Yeah.
metrics is just meaningless. It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. Even just like really bad Facebook pixels.
Mm.
With the client who fired us, the other agency, I don't know what they did, but the pixel I just couldn't get to work, and we started with a new pixel, and we started to see results within a few
Mm.
weeks. And so it's like, well, taking someone else's work sometimes isn't always great, because agencies say they do things, but they don't always do it to like your standard if you have a different
Yeah,
standard than
yeah. Yeah, so I was having a conversation yesterday with a fellow marketer, and we were talking about, that's the bit that clients never really want to pay you for. When you go through and you have to fix all of this stuff and like make sure that the conversion tracking is working uh, thoroughly, and all the weird things that you can have happen with Tag Manager uh, and checking that stuff. It's really time consuming, but like no one ever wants to pay for it. That's stuff that's just part of the deal that you've got to do so that you can build your campaigns on something that's solid.
Yeah, I mean, we really enjoy doing that stuff, that audit and stuff. I think it's good to kind of get understand what's going on. And uh,
But it's
clients
part of the
that
discovery as well, isn't it?
yeah, it's part of the discovery, and it's good. It leads to a good way to ask questions. And we've had people who've hired us just to do audits and stuff like that, which we enjoy, like audit, AdWords, GA, GTM, all of those, one of those accounts, which we'll do as well. And we'll audit something for our flat fee rate. Um, but we've never started engagement without doing an audit. Like if someone said we want you to start tomorrow and launch campaigns, I'm like, well, no, I need to audit stuff
Yeah.
to make sure things are set up correctly. And I quite frankly rather lose a client because they really want me to start tomorrow and I can't, because if I start and those things are broken, I'm just going to fail.
Absolutely, yeah. And also it shows a lack of like serious intent or commitment. If you were just like, yeah, we've got this all in place, just start. Just make it better and cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, we tell clients like if everything is set up correctly, I could probably do this all in half a day and ship it really quickly. But if things are broken, well, then it's going to take longer.
Yeah,
But I'd rather spend half a day and just double check than always wonder if something's broken.
cool. So you're a year in, and I think you guys are hiring at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, we're trying to find like a technical SEO person, and then we're trying to find like a paid manager to help me out with some like Google Shopping stuff and Bing Shopping stuff, and a few other areas. And so, much like Australia, like it's tight to find really qualified people in Vancouver that got really good experience that's also like beyond them spending their whole life in Vancouver, like they lived somewhere else or they were born somewhere else and they moved here is okay. But there's a lot of people who just only ever lived and done marketing in Vancouver, and it doesn't give them enough perspective of like what's out there. And also the budgets for campaigns in Vancouver are pretty small compared to like what you'd get in New York or Toronto or London.
Mm.
So it's been a challenge just to find someone with like really, really good experience who's done more than like, some basic stuff.
So have you thought about sort of growing your own talent, or is that just too time consuming at this stage?
It's time consuming. It takes a lot of work, and I would already be working more hours than I currently am, which is just
Well, it's the
exhausting
whole
some days.
yeah, the whole point, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, like our goal is to find someone with 5 years of experience. Ideally they've worked probably a couple of places. I mean, if they only worked one place, we'll chat with them definitely,
Mm,
and grow them from there. I mean, someone had like 3 or 4 years experience, I'll probably definitely chat with them. But if you only have like one or two, you're gonna need a lot more training. We just don't have the resources to do that.
mm,
And one of our pitches to clients as well is like we only hire senior people, right? We only have people who've got a good set of experience, and we bring them in and we show them how we do things and sort of help them scale up their skills and their ability.
mm.
Clients come to us with high expectations sometimes.
Yeah, because I think we've had a conversation before, and you've alluded to the fact that your cost structure or whatever, or your billing structure isn't really uh, you know uh, straightforward, or it's not the industry norm, and so you're effectively pitching yourself as a premium service, and you want premium clients, and so yeah, that's part of your package, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like we do definitely build differently. I mean, we do a monthly strategy fee with clients, and then we do 10% of spend of anything we directly manage. Often tell clients we're not expensive, but we're not the cheapest in town either. We're somewhere in the mushy middle. I could find a dozen people that are probably more expensive. I could find 1,000 people that are cheaper, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day. If you want junior
Yeah,
people in your account, go with the cheaper agency. That's totally cool. You want someone with
yeah,
a bit more experience who will give you a bit more time of day and doesn't need to take on 20, 30 clients, then you come to us. Because at any time, we'll have, 6 to 8. Maybe if I hire this next person, we'll go up to 12 clients.
mm,
Some are long term, some are project based. I don't know what it is, but we wouldn't go above that because we don't need to, right? We don't need to scale up and hire tons of people. We don't need to have a huge office. Those are what got the Ogilvies and the DBBs and the iProspects in trouble because now they have to take everything basically at their scale.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I mean that is so what you're saying is take some risk is small but beautiful.
Yeah, small but beautiful. It is small but beautiful. And we're attentive. We care.
Yeah, and just a handful of clients, so you get a better service, and everybody gets to deal with you.
Yeah, everyone gets to deal with me and the team. I'm trying to like build around me to just make me better because I can't do everything, which is why I want to hire a technical SEO person full time. We have someone part time right now. We want to find someone who wants to go full time. Just because we have demand and clients are like, well, you do this with paid. What can you do with technical SEO or SEO in general? And they're like, well, let me show you what we can do. And well, we've got 2 clients. We're doing it for now, and so we just want to like get more of that and help more clients do the right things to get them to where they want to go.
Great. So, what do you think? This is my final question.
No
What do you
worries.
think take some risk looks like in 3 years' time or 5 years' time?
Whew.
How big can you get and still be small?
I think that's a really hard question. I would be happy if there was like a dozen of us, maybe 8 of us, somewhere between those two numbers, and we had like a handful of clients. Um, Depending on like, I guess if everyone was in Vancouver, maybe we'd have our own small office.
Mm,
And then an idea I've been toying with, because I think there's a need in Vancouver and even on like the island, is doing kind of like a General Assembly, Red Academy, Brain Station type thing, but only focus on like data and analytics. And so like we'd have that sort of education co-open space in the other half of the space to like basically bring in more revenue stream for the company in different ways. And
mm-hmm.
and we like to teach and educate in general. Like I've spoken at 5 conferences in the last 5 days, and I've got 2 more committed for the year. So a way to teach more clients in the local market, because there's some clients here that I love to work for and brands I'd love to work on. But I also know they only want to hire me full time. So like this seems like a good way to like connect with those people and get to work with them, but in a non-official capacity, if you will.
Yeah. That's great. Well, it sounds like you're doing some fantastic work all the way over there in Vancouver. Uh, I should pop over and we should have a face-to-face, a coffee chat at some point. But alas, not. It's not going to be today.
No, it's not gonna be today. But yeah, totally come, Paul, hang out. We can like grab food or something like that, go for lunch. I mean, I don't drink
Cool.
coffee, but like I do just drink juice and ginger beer and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, we can do that.
Cool,
Duane,
awesome.
thank you very much for your time. It was really great to. Do you know you're the first person that I've done on this podcast with Zoom, and also you're the first fellow PPC guy that I've spoken to, and you don't know what you don't know until you speak to somebody else. So thank you very much. I thought it was really insightful.
Cool, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Paul.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Duane. For more info on Take Some Risk, please visit www.takesomerisk.com. For more info about this show and to get our links to iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher and YouTube, check out www.47insights.com. And if you have any SaaS marketing insights that you'd like to share on the show, please get in touch. Until next time.